Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, today's the second day of the bull cycle. Yesterday was certainly explosive, but here's the thing. Bitcoin, in its current cycle, is going to get more explosive. We are entering the most explosive stage. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what more to expect and everything else that's going on in the world of crypto and in the world also today. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. We're starting out the day a little bit lower than yesterday. In fact, actually, I called this. Yesterday when I was streaming, I'm like, okay, tomorrow we're either going to be at 100K or most likely we're going to retrace down because it's a profit-taking day. We're probably going to end up being around 85,000. And sure enough, that's where we are. I mean, obviously, after going from 80,000 all the way to 89,000 in a single day, it kind of makes sense that we would come down a little bit. But there is no doubt the bulls are here. The momentum is here. We are in the bull market, and we got a lot more gains to go. There were many alts, memes, and just certain projects that pumped tremendously over the last few days, over the course of a week. And it's just a brief taste of what's to come. And it's going to get really exciting, guys. Really exciting. But before we get to all that, let's see. The U.S. market also yesterday had a crazy day, at least for some. Not for everything. Not every stock pumped yesterday. But today, it's looking like it's kind of even. People are, taking profits. MicroStrategy, a little profit taking, but you know what? That could certainly turn into green. Yesterday, they were up nearly 30%. They broke through their .com high. That's incredible. I mean, look at that. That's it just keeps on going. They're a $66 billion company right now. So, again, they might flip into green today. But yesterday, after going up 30%, I think, a little profit taking is warranted. But again, like I said, it may be flipping in green. Same thing with Coinbase. Coinbase went up 20-something% yesterday. First time above 300 since 2021. And it makes sense that they go up. Coinbase and Robinhood, anyone that's involved with trading, if you think about it, because it's only going to increase as crypto goes up, as more traders come back in, volume goes up, profits goes up, and MicroStrategy, Big Daddy, Sailor, he's going to continue to buy more and more Bitcoin forever, and that's just going to keep on driving things higher and higher for him. So no surprises there. In terms of this week, we will get another CPI inflation reading, PPI inflation reading, jobless claim, retail sales. The usual economic data stuff. But at this point, it seems like these economic points seem tame. Because we know that now that we have election, now we know that more rate cuts are coming. We just had one this month. We're going to get another one next month. And we know that liquidity is going to be injected into a market, and not just the U.S. market, but markets around the world. We know all these things are coming. So, I mean, I don't know if any of these things are really going to matter all that much unless the numbers turn out really bad. For example, if CPI inflation, PPI inflation suddenly in the U.S. jump up to the moon, and I don't see that happening unless we see something really bad happen. I mean, it's, I don't think it's going to really sway markets one way or another, right? The biggest one, of course, was the election, and and it was favorable for most. And then you know, everything blew up afterwards. So, but there you go. All right, so moving on, let's talk about some very interesting fact. Crypto for Everyone says, greetings from Germany, the country that sold all its Bitcoin. That's a good reminder. Interesting fact, yesterday was the highest daily move day in Bitcoin history. Opened up at 80K, closed nearly at 89K. A daily move of 8,343 points. Rank number 1 of all time, even shattering the $7,576 move in 2021. But I mean, look at it. That move, that 7,500 move, was when Bitcoin was at 38,000, going to 46,000. The amount of money, it's very different. I mean, to move something from 80,000 to 88,000, it takes a lot more money to do that than move Bitcoin from 38,000 to 46,000, right? Like, it takes substantially more. But anyways, yesterday was a record-breaking day, and here's the thing: it may just be the start. I mean, as the ETFs, as the institutions, as the countries start FOMOing, we may be seeing, even though Bitcoin may be in 6 figures, we may be seeing $10,000 move days for even Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is doing that, what are the other projects? How are they going to move? 20, 30%, 40% days. We have seen days like that before. Are we going to see them do it again? Maybe even higher percentage days? Probably. But it's insane that Bitcoin, even at 80K, could do a 10% move. Even at these levels, it's actually quite insane if you think about it. But it's also insane that we are still getting a lot of liquidations both ways. In fact, you would figure we would have a lot more short liquidations than longs, but no, we had a lot of longs too. But so that's why I tell you guys, if you go play with leverage, and it's very addicting, sometimes you win big. Like yesterday, on a plane ride yesterday, I won big. Or tonight, you know, while I was sleeping, I lost big too. But still, you know, you gotta be careful, right? So I was looking at liquidations, even though you figure like all the shorters lost, but you know what? You know, it looks like just as much loss as short. So that drop from 89,000 down to where we are, 86,000, that liquidated a hell of a lot of longs too. So if you guys are playing, make sure to be careful, set your stop losses, don't go too crazy, because as we go higher, there will be a lot of swings up and down. We want to see more short squeezes. We want to see the shorts get wrecked, and we want to see price being squeezed higher. We don't want to be squeezed lower, right? So just be careful with that. But we did get a tremendous amount, 222 million of shorts liquidated. But if you add up, like, you know, the longs, ooh, the longs got a lot of liquidated too. So just be careful there. Be careful. All right. What else is there? Now there's a 64% chance Bitcoin will hit 100K in 2024, which I still think is very, very low. After yesterday, people are still predicting there's only a 64% chance on Polymarket. I mean, I would take that bet. I mean, we're at 86,000. We're at 86,000. We're at 89,000 yesterday. I don't get how there's only a 64% chance. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very, maybe I'm just very bullish. But I would say it's more like a 90% chance at this point. Like, I have like zero doubt. Seeing the level that we are at now, 100K is a certainty. In fact, I would probably bet 95% chance, not even 90%, 95% chance that we will hit 100K in 2024. So yeah, but I guess a lot more people are not so sure. I mean, look at it. Even back, a week ago, it was still under 25%. That was actually kind of crazy. Anyways, outside of poly market, we have ETFs going bonkers. 2.6 billion coming in from Europe, but overall, we know BlackRock and everyone else is going nuts. Yesterday, we had over 1.1 billion inflow. Most of that from Larry Fink. Once again, $756 million from BlackRock. And others were not bad. Fidelity at 135 million. Bitwise at 108 million. And even Grayscale joined in at 50-something million, right? This number will only increase as the bull market continues. And I can't wait for the day to come when these guys, these fund managers, reach out to Coinbase and say, hey, we need $1 billion, $2 billion, $5 billion worth of Bitcoin because we just sold that much. And Coinbase is like, sorry, guys, we don't have $5 billion. We only have $2 billion. Where are they going to do that? Like, that day will come. I just don't know what's going to happen when they can't buy or source enough Bitcoin from the exchanges or from the miners. Then it's going to get really crazy because the price of Bitcoin and their shares are going to skyrocket to the moon. That day will come, I think, sometime in 2025 because there is not infinite amount of Bitcoin. There just isn't. Like, banks can never run out of money. There's always a source. The Federal Reserve and the Treasury can always print more money. There will never be a scenario where they run out of money. They have said so themselves. There's never a scenario where the banks can run out of money. But there is a scenario where exchanges run out of Bitcoin because there's just nowhere else to get it from. That's the difference. That's why fiat will keep on inflating to zero because you could always print more. You can't mint more Bitcoin whenever you want to. That's the difference. Anyways, moving forward, Ethereum spot ETFs are also blowing up, 295 million in a single day. I don't cover a lot of Ethereum ETFs, but still, inflow is increasing. Ethereum has been moving pretty well recently. Not as well as Bitcoin, but if the institutions are picking up hundreds of millions of ETH also every day, that may have effect on its price too. So think about that. All right. What else is there? Well, this will certainly have effect. Senator Cynthia Lummis says, after Trump becomes president within 100 days, they will pass the strategic Bitcoin bill, where they will set in motion to start buying Bitcoin and buy up to 5% of the supply and put it into a reserve for the United States. And the plan is to eventually use it to pay off the national deficit in about 20 years. Okay. And it could actually happen because in 20 years, whatever they accumulate could be worth trillions. But, since we rack up so much debt every year in 20 years, I can't even imagine what the U.S. deficit will be. It could be like 200 trillion. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to rise up fast enough to make up for it. But still, I don't know what the price of Bitcoin is then, but if the U.S. sets a schedule to buy X number of Bitcoin every month, if they set that in schedule, I mean, that's going to cause another, I don't know. To buy a 5% of the supply and set on schedule every single month, that's a lot of buying pressure. That is going to be a lot. And that's definitely going to be, and that's on top of the ETF pressure and retail pressure and everyone else in between. That is going to be absolutely explosive. No doubt. No doubt about it. And that may kick off a war among countries. Just think about it. If the U.S. officially declares they're going to buy 5% of supply, do you think Putin and Xi, they're going to sit back in Russia and China and say, we're just going to let the U.S. buy up 5% of the supply of Bitcoin? You don't think they're going to then create some kind of agenda to also buy up 5% of the supply of Bitcoin? I mean, they're going to do something in response. They might say, well, if they're going to buy 5%, we're going to buy 10% of supply. And then imagine after hearing that, Trump is like, no, we're going to up ours to 10%, you know? And then imagine 3 countries in the world trying to buy up 10% of the supply each. And they're trying to, and then BlackRock is already trying to buy 10% of supply. So you have 4 entities on the planet that's trying to buy up 40% of the supply. Do you know how much buying pressure that is? That alone will drive Bitcoin into the millions if that was going to happen in the next year. That will drive Bitcoin into the millions if that did happen. If 4 entities try to buy 40% of the supply, it will not be an easy task. It will not. It's crazy to think about. Maybe one day that will actually happen. And it's not just the biggest countries. A lot of countries have started. Bhutan already has 1 billion in Bitcoin out of nowhere. It's because they started mining Bitcoin. El Salvador has 500 million of Bitcoin. Tesla has 1 billion in Bitcoin. Everyone seems to have 1 billion in Bitcoin. Not myself, but everyone else seems to. Everyone seems to have a slice. You just don't know these days. So there's just not enough to go around. Everyone except Germany. Yeah, that's right. They had a lot, but they sold it all off because of some law. But I mean, it's people just don't understand. There's just not enough to go around. That's why Bitcoin will go up infinitely, because there's more demand than supply. That's really all there is to it. There's way, way more demand than supply. Everything else is actually irrelevant. Everything else is a distraction. What it comes down to is demand is higher than supply. And Bitcoin has a set number, and that's really it. Unlike anything else out there, it's the scarcest asset that we have. That's really what it comes down to. And on top of that, the scarcest asset is on the most decentralized network that can't be shut down. And every government around the world knows that. And they have given up on trying to shut it down. There's nothing else out there that all governments around the world have now just accepted that they can't shut down. If you think about it for a second, there's nothing else like that. There's no product or service that can't be shut down by a government, right? Like even Google or Facebook or Microsoft, the biggest, or Nvidia, the biggest companies that we have around the world can be banned or blocked from a country, okay? Yet, they can't do that with Bitcoin. Think about it. It's the most valuable network on the planet. It's the only network that no country can block, and it has the scarcest asset on top of that network. The two combined are actually priceless. If you think about it, it is actually the most priceless asset and network we have on the planet. All right. Now, looking at charts. So we're in the most explosive stage of the cycle, right? You could also call it other things like the euphoria zone. So according to this, euphoria zone is kind of like the blue stage, right? That's when things get really crazy. We're not there yet. We're barely in the green or flipping upwards, right? We're not even in the blue zone. When we get in the blue zone, that's probably when we're going to be like plus 150,000. And then who knows, how high we go. I mean, a lot of people are making predictions, right? This was what it looked like before. If you look at the last cycle, we went through a big crypto winter. Then we kind of hovered. Then we went sideways for a long time. And then we went to the explosive stage, yes, right? And now we're breaking out that giant cup and handle. We're breaking out of the handle part. Yes, we are doing that now. But how high are we going to go? If you're looking at like a comparison of before, a fractal pattern of before, and you're looking at comparison moves, it's somewhere between 200 to like $400,000, right? But it really depends on what happens. For example, in the scenario I presented earlier, if the US now declares officially they will buy 5% of the supply, I think that's going to be a big deal. Even if other countries don't officially do it or say it, just the fact that US is going to try to buy a 5% supply, that alone will drive prices high, really, really high. That alone could push Bitcoin above 200,000 just from that alone. And that's not counting everything else, right? But then if you do have other countries that actually join in, I mean, that could certainly push us up to like $500,000 by the end of the cycle. But here's the more exciting thing. If you're looking at the previous cycles and you kind of average the gains together, the upper bound and a lower bound of the cycle, I mean, the range is so tremendous. The lower bound shows it's actually like somewhere around 140,000, which is very conservative. But the very aggressive upper bound is showing $4.5 million for the cycle, which again would only happen if we have many, many countries declaring that they're all going to be buying like 5 or 10% of the supply. And then we have a huge, war of accumulation. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe not this cycle. Maybe next cycle. Who knows? Right? It'll happen someday. I truly believe Bitcoin will be worth millions someday for each one. That's right, each one. That's why getting one Bitcoin, becoming a whole coin, is so important. A lot of people now think it's not worth accumulating. It's too high. I can't make any money. At 80,000, 80 something, 100,000, it's not worth getting. I know in my heart someday, maybe not soon, maybe not in 10 years, 20 years, maybe 30 years, sometime, Bitcoin will each one be above $1 million and go to 2 million, 4 million, 5 million, 10 million. It will be in the millions each. I just don't know how soon it's going to happen, but it will be up there. So maybe if you have to wait 30 years, you can't spend it yourself, but you can certainly pass it on to your kids or your grandkids, and they will be filthy rich, okay, at the very least. But it will happen because, like I said, it's so scarce. It's running on top of the most decentralized network, and the demand for Bitcoin will only go up. It will never go down from here. It will only go up, and that's why the price will continue to follow. And while I've been talking, look at that. We're back up to $87,000. It's still looking good. And look, like I said, hey, some MicroStrategies, it's a good chance to turn back into green, and it certainly did. Coinbase is about to flip to green too. So it's looking like we may have a great day. All right, guys. Oh, I missed out on a few other things. DOGE. DOGE is also skyrocketing. I mentioned this last night. I think DOGE, because of the Elon effect, it's going to keep on going, guys. It's going to break through its 2021 high and keep going. The next target is $1 after that, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Doge right now is stronger than all the other memes, which, as crazy as it sounds, it shouldn't be because it's already at $51 billion. So how could a $51 billion market cap be stronger than a $2 billion or a $4 billion market cap meme coin? It just is. That's just how it is in crypto. Market cap, sometimes you just have to ignore it, accept the fact that if people love something, they're just going to keep on buying it. That's just how it is, right? All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Man, MicroStrategy is just not stopping. This stock will not stop. I loaded a lot of MicroStrategy and Coinbase in my portfolio, and it's been doing really, really well. And of course, Bitcoin and everything else has been doing very well too. All right, let's see if I miss anything. Someone to these, I can't pronounce that name. The Thace on Ecos, something around the world, can't pronounce that. Just want to say thanks for keeping us alive in the bear. You're welcome. Let's see. PL says CRO's up 100% for a week. In recent AMA with the CEO, he discussed ETF stocks will exchange make this the top 10. Yeah, I don't know. Anything that's up 100% in a week is, generally speaking, not organic. So I don't know if that's like what that's about. But if they introduce stocks and ETFs, that's very good. Like, one of the reasons why I like Robinhood as a stock play is because not only do they have crypto trading, but stock trading. So if Crypto.com offers stock trading and ETF trading, that could be huge. They could be really huge, right? They already have the credit card play, or the debit card play, I should say. They have the crypto play, and they get into that. That could be huge. That could be huge. And they are a partner of mine. So if you guys are interested, use my affiliate link. But I don't know why they're up 100%. Normally 100% a week, like I said, is not natural, but maybe people are just super excited about that, or something else that I missed on the chain. Chris Cunningham, my MSTR shares are printing. That's right. Where's the 100K party? I don't know. It has to either be Vegas or Miami. Probably, I say maybe Vegas is a better place. Vegas may be better. You think Doge can hit $5? Sandro asked from Switzerland. Oh, $5 is quite aggressive, man. That would give it, I don't know. That would give it an insane market cap. That's for sure. That's like almost $1 trillion in market cap. I guess you could never say never. I guess it could happen in this, but I mean, it has to go really nutty for that to happen. It has to go real nutty for that to happen. I think, yeah. I think it's more likely like maybe like $2 or $3, but $5 is a little too much. I know you don't like Doge Elon Mars, but it has 100 million liquidity on 150 million market cap. Surely a bullish play. Luke, I've seen other projects like that with a huge amount of liquidity, and you would think that the market cap would be higher. It makes sense, but it also doesn't, because if people don't like the meme, they're just not going to buy it. I mean, what it comes down to is that, right? I don't hate it. I just don't like the name. And I know Elon's brother was really into it. I don't know if he still is, to be quite honest. Well leveraged non-KYC platform. I use BitUnix. They're my main one. And they've been growing by leaps and bounds. I really like their platform. Really responsive. They have like 200 plus pairs. So basically everything. Pretty low fees. So BitUnix. They're the newest player in the game. And they have a ton of volume and a ton of trading pairs. So if you wanted to check them out, use my link in the description. Clayton, does Compound have any momentum behind it? I don't see it, but I think Compound and Aave both gained a little bit when Trump won because everyone thinks Gary Gensler will be out. But they're, you know, both of these guys are like DeFi plays from 2021. See, it's been coming up. But, you know, DeFi has really changed since 2021. So, I don't know. Like, they were kind of the pioneers in 2021. They can come back, but there's so many more options now, especially ones that's not on ETH. I know they branched out from ETH, but their main thing is, you know, on ETH. Yeah, so can they come back? Yes, but DeFi has really changed over the years. So that plays into part of why they're still a little weak. Hey, Bitcoin's making a good recovery right now. 87.4. Can we just shoot right back up to 89 and go right to 100K today? That'd be crazy. You know, I wouldn't mind. I mean, to be real honest, I wouldn't mind if we consolidate a little bit. So it gives us a chance to like actually be able to accumulate more, because at this rate, it's really hard to accumulate when it keeps on just shooting up like this. DOGE is coming up real fast. Hey, I see XRP is moving. XRP is moving finally after 8 years. Let's check it out. Look at that. It's up 6% today, guys. Did it break out of its oh, it did finally. Look at that. It finally broke out of that descending trend line since 2018. It finally broke out. It's above 60 cents, 66 cents. Maybe it's time. It's barely above this recent high made in September and in July. It has to hold above. You could see it hasn't really broken out of it yet. It needs to hold above and break out. Otherwise, it's still not. I mean, actually, technically, it still hasn't really broken out of anything. It needs to like break out of 74 cents, but like over here, it's still like 66 cents, 66 cents, and then 75 cents. That's when XRP really breaks out. Joe Stringer, hey George, there's always a new meme that comes out of nowhere every bull run. Have you heard of any of interest? There are so many. Honestly, since like April, May time, I have not taken any time to look at any new memes. But there have been so many that have blown up, but there's so many that have died also. As the bull market kicks in, I'll probably pay attention to more because I just felt like it wasn't time to look at new memes. But you know what? I'll start paying attention to more as the market comes back. Yeah, we got a huge level at 31.63 million at 90,600. That would be a great one to break through. But prior to that, 90,300, 90,100. And then a little bit open here, but then you got some like 88, 89,000 from yesterday. We got a little one over here at 87.5, you know. So we can certainly break through these, get back to 90, and just stop right here about 89 again. Do you think the CPI this week will be good? When is the announcement? It's like Wednesday and Thursday. I don't think it'll be bad. Honestly, at this point, unless the inflation readings are like horrible, it's not going to affect things. People got what they want, which is a Trump victory. That was the most important thing. So unless the inflation readings or any economic data going forward come in really super horrible and they're really off, it's going to be okay. And on top of that, it's because we know that more rate cuts are coming already, right? We got 2 already. We're going to get another one December. So it's already in play. So unless the market data comes in horrible, for example, inflation shows somehow inflation jumped tremendously. Unless something like that happens, I don't see anything turning us around. Miami's better. A lot of people like Miami. Here, I'm going to do a poll. What's another third city that's popular in the U.S. that people like? Don't say Nashville. I can't even think of another fun city. No, definitely not New York. Dallas. Do people like going to Dallas? Not Salt Lake City. No one's gonna fly to Hawaii for this. Austin is not a good city. New Orleans? I guess I could put New Orleans. I just don't. A lot of people are saying Austin. I like San Diego, but that doesn't seem like it's a good party city. And no, I'm not gonna put Disneyland. I'll just put Austin as my 4th option. Why so many people putting San Diego? But okay, I'll put San Diego.
What do you think about Ripple?
Choose.
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
Sorry, not sure how that came up. I think most people, actually Miami's actually doing better than I expected. I think most people are agreeing that it's gonna be Vegas. I should find some sponsors for this event. Surprisingly, a lot of people haven't been to Vegas when I mentioned it. I will have the 100K party inside Spearmint Rhino. I'll just rent out the whole place. That would be wild. Oh my God. To have in the Spear, that would be crazy. That's just way too expensive. I can't afford that. Even with sponsors, I can't afford it. To rent out the Spear would be like millions of dollars. That would not happen. Maybe you know, like a conference hall inside one of the casinos. For CRU logo on the Sphere will cost you 600K. I don't think that would be worth it. I could just like use AI and do it. Oh man, we're shooting up, guys. I don't know. We're so close of hitting 100K. I might as well start actually asking around. Actually, I'll ask some of my good partners and see if they want to join in on this. Because I think this is going to be quite expensive. Do any of you guys work at a Vegas casino? Maybe you could hook me up. I would have been a millionaire if I bought MicroStrategy instead of Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't think you're that off, man. MicroStrategy moved a little bit faster than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's catching up now. I don't think they're that far off. Saiken, which casino do you work at? It's one of the bigger ones. Ben Cowan does know how to throw good parties, but you know, he faded me on his last one, so I'm kind of pissed off at him. Can you check out Costco hot dog? I got in 4 million, jumped to 8 million, wonder where it could go. I used to be on that. I got in before it went to 100 million, and then I got out, and then it went down when everything else went down. So I don't know if it's gonna come back, but I used to love that meme. You know, this past event I was at, CCC, they were highly sponsored by Bybit, so Bybit has endless money. So I'll ask them if they want to do something. And BitUnix, they're a really good partner, so I want to ask them. I'll ask Crypto. Oh my God. You know what I should do? I should ask Crypto.com. They own the freaking stadium. Maybe we could have it at their stadium. Oh my, man, that would be crazy. I don't think they will let me do that. But if there is like a day where they're not using that stadium and we can have it there in LA, that would be the craziest idea ever. Oh, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to ask them for that first. Is you could fit like 20-something thousand people in that stadium. And then you could do crazy things with the Jumbotron and stuff. At the very least, I could ask how much it is to rent it, even if they won't give it to me for free. That would be the ultimate thing. That would, okay, that's gonna be my new mission. I'll ask them how much it would be to rent out that place for a day. Usually stadiums are not that expensive. Like a football stadium's like 100K a day. So I imagine like a NBA stadium shouldn't be that much, but it's in LA. So it may be a lot. I don't know. Send an email to Elon to sponsor the Bitcoin 100K. I don't think he checks his emails. I'm not close. I'm not buddies with Elon. Any party with 20K people isn't a party. What about a sporting event? You go to sporting events with 20K people, right? All right, guys. So, Bitcoin enters its most explosive stage. We're a little bit lower than yesterday, but that's perfectly normal. A little profit taking, of course, after yesterday. But, man, there's so much stuff that is coming, guys. Hopefully, you guys are feeling it, feeling the FOMO, feeling the excitement. It's going to be absolutely crazy from here on out. So enjoy your gains, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care.